Hi, welcome to my channel, and this is my first video on one of the data analysis work that I did for a client way back in 2017. So the problem was really in the business that the customer was not getting enough traction from his website all of a sudden. So we were asked to look at the data, get some insights out of it, and then send that across to him for further resolution. So what we presented was we got down enough details from Google Cloud, put that into Google Cloud Platform, put that into BigQuery, run some scripts, and then came up with some ideas. So today's video is going to give you what is the business problem that we were solving and what kind of insight that we generated out of it, what kind of observations, and what are the recommendations that we gave out to the customer. To start off with, I prepared the presentation, not exactly the same presentation that I did in the past, but this is a sample presentation that I've created without any of the live data. These are all used as sample data for this presentation. So let's dive in. So the first thing that we want to confirm is the insight framework that we are dealing with here. So we got down into Google BigQuery, got the data set and did some queries and loaded the data into further analysis. So what we did was we thought of like, let's look at the low bounce rates versus high page views, top pages by views, bounce rates by day, bounce rates by page title, returning users versus new users, and high traffic but with high bounce. So while thinking through these SQL queries, we were trying to figure out what are the opportunities that we would have, what would our observations be in order to increase the traffic. Right, so I won't be going down into really exact details on SQL side of things today, but what I want to convey is that just by understanding the business problem of the customer, you can probably draw out and get some observations and include some insights back to the customer. So for example, if I look at my top pages by views query from the dataset, I would see a set of information as hits between this time period. This is August 1st to August 31st. There are page views coming in, especially for the shop by brand page, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we went through all these queries to figure out what sort of information that we can get into our insights table. So what I wanted to do today is go into insights framework, and let's move ahead with what we have. So my strategy for this is look at the observations, present why it matters, and what to do next for this customer. So for example, we saw that high traffic sites and pages have high bounce rates, and that could be something that is related to content mismatches. So what we did was like we found out the pages in the top 10 by page views also show bounce rates above 70%. It's higher than the site average of 45%. So these numbers were derived from Google Analytics as well as from the Google BigQuery queries that I previously showed you. So why this matters is basically there could be misleading titles, there could be slow access to key information from the visitors, content not matching the intent of the customer. For example, if the customer is thinking of coming to see look for a particular brand, what they are looking at is a search results page without a better sorting out of that brand information. So our next actions was to identify the top 5 high traffic, high bounce pages, review those content, and then AI assisted content summarization if that is required. Note that we were not routing for AI assisted content summarization at that point, but that was an option. So first insight was that our actions were like measure change in bounce rates and time on site, and then see how it goes. Sort of an A and B testing that needs to be done. Let's move on to our next insight. So the next one was the low bounce versus high engagement. Now this one is basically a smaller group that we observed. it showed both low bounce rates and high average time on site, even though with moderate traffic. So that means it represents a successful content patterns. People were staying in the on the site, but with low bounce rates, which is good really. And then what we did was why we share examples with the content team to say that this is a reference pattern for further analysis. So we can use this as a baseline and then see where what are the data that we are getting and provide our next actions. Let's move on to the next insight. The last one is basically the returning users and the new users. We saw a significantly lower bounce rate and longer sessions duration than new users, which makes sense in a way, because if I'm familiar with the website, I'll be spending more time on the website, repeatedly coming in. I don't want to discover any new things, but I want to see the depth of the site and what are the site has to offer, the features of the site. So we identified two segments of users, that is new users and returning users. What we thought is like, okay, new users need clarity and fast value, rather than repeat users want depth, not really discovery of the site, because they are already familiar with the site. Our next action recommendation was to have separate content experience for new and returning users, personalized recommendation for returning users, and deeper related content for those who are already familiar with the website. So yeah, so this is for the three insights that we told our customer, and actions were taken in order to rectify the next actions. That is the end of my presentation. So I wish this was quite helpful in terms of gaining insights from your queries and what are the next actions that needs to be done. Thank you. I'll see you on the next one.